Hey guys, Dale here. Welcome to our latest series. This is going to be an Archonexus focused series, and this episode, this part that you're on currently, part 0, is just going to be kind of like a little explainer of what mods we're using, what the scenario is like, what the ideology is like. So we're going to take a look at all those things. If you are interested in just skipping ahead to gameplay, that will start in part 1. Now, everyone else that is here, we are kind of going back to our Odyssey playthrough and our 1.6 playthrough. This story is going to be centered around Sonia, who ended up being kind of the hero of our 1.6 playthrough, ended up having a lot of tragedy in our Odyssey bound playthrough, and I figured we needed to give her a proper send-off. I've never done the Archonexus ending before in any playthrough, either for YouTube or for my own personal playthrough. So I figured we would have her focus on finding her path to Ascension. Let's go ahead and first things first, I guess we'll take a look at Graphics Setter. Just so we can kind of see what mods are here adding textures. There are tons of them. Notably, like just a bunch of texture replacements, upscales, oracles, miscellaneous, side casting expanded, a bunch of vanilla textures, expanded stuff. Nothing crazy, nothing like game setting changing, like medieval overhaul or anything like that. So we are going to be like in a modern era in the game. Let's hop over to Steam and we'll take a look at some of the key mods. So first up is GravTech. I am very curious about the things in this mod. I'm not sure how much of it we'll be able to see, especially considering with the Archonexus playthrough, things are going to get reset pretty frequently. It adds grav field pylons, the ability to build grav engines, which might be a boon to us on kind of like restarts, right? Whenever we have our colony reset, not having to wait for one to show up, being able to build it might be quicker. It does require a tech print though. Workbench that allows you to build other things that are typically unbuildable, as well as some weapons, some defenses, some bionics, all that kind of stuff. There is a really gorgeous retexture for it, so we do have that in place. Do we have pictures here? I guess we have pictures here. So we'll look through some of these. These just, they look and feel very RimWorld. I am all about it. So we'll see how much of that we get to make use of. We do have vanilla sidecasting expanded, which is very typical for me. We either have that or RimWorld of Magic. I just think that the base game sidecasts are not as exciting as they should be. That being said, we do have this biotech integration patch installed, which requires our casters to have a gene that enables the various trees for them, right? So it will be a little bit more limited. We won't be able to decide like, hey, this is what's optimal for this pawn because they're fulfilling this role. We'll have to see what they have, and maybe we make decisions about what pawns we keep and have and all that fun stuff based on their genetics. We'll be doing what we can to kind of like rip ideal genes out of people, but I figured we'd try having some sort of limitation on it. Gravship Blueprint. So this is my mod. Huge update this weekend. So you can place blueprints, you can save and load designs, you can encounter quests. I think kind of like the big new things, the down grav ship has been in there for a little while. This is just kind of like a loot box and grav core quest. The quest site salvage grav ship, so we can find a fully functioning grav ship out in the world. We do have to defend it in order to take advantage of it. This could potentially be like a temporary base for us, right? So maybe it's a quick way to get a lot of wealth, and so we're going to maybe try and use that quest site in order to like skip ahead a little bit. This does also have some optional patches in it, allows shuttles to land near doors and wall lamps. allow shuttles to ignore constructed roof, launch, land, build under constructed roof. I think it's silly that we don't have like a pressurized shuttle bay, and so I just kind of made a patch so that you can land your shuttles inside of your ships, basically. And of course, there's a ton of other features here. This is one of the newer ones as where you can select blueprints, rotation, and place the blueprints from the grav engine itself. So there's these 3 new buttons. And then everything else has just kind of been here for a while. You've seen the mod. I have started splitting the ships out into submods. So we have a bunch of Star Trek themed ships, so I've made a submod for that. I also just recently released a Star Wars KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic themed submod as well that has a couple new freighters in it. But I don't have it in this pack since we're not really doing like Knights of the Old Republic run. We're going to do Vanilla Outpost Expanded. I've had this mod in my playthroughs a few times, but I've never really kind of like taken full advantage of it. I think in a situation where we're going to have to give up our colonies so frequently that I really want to try and like lean into this mod for food production, for resource gathering, just kind of have like that stability that we put out into the world that'll hopefully give us like a really big leg up when we have to start a new colony. So we'll see how that kind of plays together. Hopefully the outposts don't get wiped whenever we sell our base. I'm pretty sure that we just sell the map that we're on, but I have not actually done the Archonexus, so we'll see. The biotech SciCast patch has a lot of integrations with a bunch of different races, and these xenotypes by Det xenotypes, they come with some pretty cool looking art and assets and stuff, and so I've been wanting to try them out a lot. We'll see if we end up with any of them or if we end up just trying to like steal genes from them. But we have the Stoneborn, we have the Half-Foot, we have this Venator, and the Dig. We also grabbed the Archon from Vanilla Races Expanded because it has some integrations with that biotech patch, as well as the boar skins that come from VRE Pigskin Expanded, the Saurids, and I think that's it there. I did add both the Dune mods from Collapse and Team. So we played with this one before, just like the apparel looks so good. The weapons look so neat. And then we haven't played with this one, the House Atreides stuff yet, but also just like really great artwork on the apparel and armor and weapons. So I want our core team to kind of have some unique looks about them. And we'll see what we can do to kind of use these mods to kind of some of that. Play setup, I already have like our initial save set up, but I will take you guys into a new colony. I did take the crash landed and I just kind of made a modified version of it. We're starting with one person, of course, Sonia. We are going to start with the endgame salvage quest, the Frontier, and a custom grav ship, the Morning Star. This is, of course, the ship that Sonia took off in when we closed out the Odyssey Bound series. And just to kind of have you guys take a look at that, these are the 2 quest parts that my grav ship mod adds, and you can select the ships that you actually want to have show up in that custom quest as well as in the custom start. If we preview it here, this is kind of what it looks like. This is what the Frontier looks like. We have our browse menu. We can also see if there's like any mods or anything that might be contributing to some of the furniture, and we can decide whether we want to grab those or not with a link to the workshop. Okay, let me load our save and we'll take a look at the world, we'll take a look at our ideology, and we'll say hello to Sonia. Okay, so this is what the world is looking like. It is a little bit smaller than typical. I think it's like a 50% build. So we have a few factions out here. We have the Shaman's Town, the Grand Clan. So this must be one of the custom xenotypes. Obviously, this looks like the Kashig, so I'm going to assume that's what they are. Yiddikin also have some interesting interactions with that biotech die-casting patch and wasters. I usually don't have Yiddikin or wasters in my playthrough. I swap them out with regular pirates. So that'll be interesting. Same with the pigskins. So we'll see how that goes. We have swords over here. You can see like the gray tribal with the horns. This is actually the Claws of Kith, our supporter hostile faction. And then one of these should be the named ones. There we are. So named ones having the same icon as the pigskin. I might swap that around, just trying to remove some dependencies here. And then we are using our ideology icon as our faction icon. So we have landed on this little island right here on the beach. And we'll take a look at our ideology before we zoom in and take a look at Sonia. So ideology is a fluid ideology. Oh, let me do that. There we go. We're starting with the psychic focus, and then most of this stuff is pretty standard. Psychic focus requires the leader to be the best psi caster. Physical love, free and approved, I always put that. And then these two are set by our ideologian. I have set research to be very fast since we're going to have to go through the research tree multiple times. Other than that, we have just a regular funeral. We only have 2 roles right now, but as our ideologian develops and I see something to fix, I want that to be anytime. So we'll get that swapped out before we actually start playing. As our ideology develops, we'll add roles, of course, and then all of our celebrations are dance parties that potentially, if they're good enough, increase the Psi-Link level of the participants. I added a couple of weapons, just in case we're hurting on weapons. We can do some relic quests to try and help us out with that. Okay, Sonia, here on the Wayfarer, when you do a graph ship start, it lands it in the middle of the map. So we kind of like landed in the ocean. We have like a little dining / recreation area here. She is a mechanitor, but I'm not sure if we'll lean into that. We have a little mechanitor set up for her since this was like her private ship. I also have some outfit stands with her mechanitor gear, as well as the outfit that our our Odyssey bound colony was wearing. So she has some clothing options. Right now she's just rocking a flak vest, a cape, a jumpsuit, a head wrap, some sunglasses, and a unique charge rifle, I guess. We have research down here. We have like a little cooking area, and I might swap this out for nutrient paste and vats. Like we do have space for that. But I think the first order of business is maybe building a little bridge so we can get some stuff hauled in. And we will pick up with that in part 1. So thanks for hanging out. As always, until next time, have a good one. Bye.